we're sitting down today with Danny Katz, practicing attorney. I don't know how many people know that or not. Jiu Jitsu black belt, and the more famously the founder of HeelHookvlt. I'd never expected you launching that brand for you to get as famous as you would from a t-shirt company.
Me
but
either.
I love that.
Thanks, man.
Danny, welcome to the show. He's a good friend of ours, also writes our legal documentation and things like that, which he probably won't sign because there's probably a back door in there that he left for himself.
Yeah, it actually says if I go to sign it, it totally nullifies it. Just for me.
Item 12,
Yeah.
Daniel Katz is excluded from participating in the...
Anything, ever.
Yeah. We really excited to have you on. I guess, real quick, for AI purposes, this is what it says about you. In this episode, we're gonna break down his journey, what jiu-jitsu teaches the most, or that most people miss, how it translates into business and law, and get into some hot takes on where the sport is heading.
Oh, man.
That's what AI thinks we're going to talk about today.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what do you think we should talk about tonight?
Oh.
And it's literally like, this is what you talked about.
And that
I was
cost
like
literally a half ocean just to ask that question. Great job.
Yeah, I never think about that. Yeah, do you wonder ever, like, when every people that are typing in the name, like the needless like questions and just asking, like, instead of Googling things now, like you have, we had like a guy at a trade expo a few weeks ago that was like an old guy, like he was an 87 or something, says he uses ChatGPT.
Everybody does.
And I'm like, what do you ChatGPT? And dude, you already know everything. And he laughed. And then he's like started telling me, and I'm like, man, the energy that guy's wasting right now, and just like what times TV lands come on and stuff like this.
I don't use AI. I hate AI. I think it's making people stupid. I was actually reading something about a study showing that people who are using things like ChatGPT are getting dumber. I just think it's just another shortcut. And
Would, like, as a in the law industry, what like are lawyers using that and abusing it?
So this is actually really funny. There's a pretty like well-known case, I forget where it was out of, where a guy was sanctioned for using ChatGPT to write some sort of pleading for a court. And obviously when AI was like newer, it was hallucinating, if you're familiar with that term. Like basically it was just like making shit up.
Yeah.
And it hallucinated a bunch of cases, and he cited them, and he didn't double check them. So he got fucking sanctioned by the court for basically citing cases that didn't exist. Like the judge must have been reading it and seen the citation and been like, that's not a real case. Where did you get that from? And like he got in a lot of trouble. And as a result, I actually took an ethics class because, you know, lawyers have to take classes every year to keep our license. And one that I actually paid attention to was on AI because I was curious. And in Pennsylvania, if I want to use AI, I have to get consent from my client. And I like that because, you know, I don't like AI. I think it makes people lazy. But yeah, every legal research provider like Westlaw and LexisNexis, they're all pushing AI products to get, you know, lawyers to pay extra money to get a computer to do their research for them, and it's just fucking gross. It's making people stupid.
I didn't even think there's, when you talk to other people about their businesses, there's like nuances that you just never would even consider that somebody would just, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, look, lawyers as a whole are just generally pretty lazy when they can be, as long as they get paid what they want to get paid. So, you know, just another tool to be lazy and, you know, sign a lot of dickheads up. Not me. We'll never use it.
Have you seen anyone, like, have you received any sort of thing from another lawyer that you have to interact with on behalf of your client that you, like, kind of look at and you're like, bro, did you use ChatGPT?
Oh, yeah. And even worse, I had a client who was double-checking contracts I wrote with ChatGPT. And it was making me crazy because, like, he was a pretty well-paying client. It was a pretty intense job. Yeah, pretty much, man. And, you know, like, I would write the contracts, and they would get sent back to me with, he's like, well, I ran it through ChatGPT. He would tell me that he was doing this, and it said XYZ, and 99% of the time I was like, that's in there. ChatGPT's wrong. That's not true. ChatGPT's wrong. There was like nothing that ChatGPT found that had any sort of validity, and it was straight up saying he needs to put XYZ in there, and it was already in there. Or it was suggesting way more words for something that I summed up in like 5 or 6. It was really frustrating because he was a nice dude otherwise, and I could tell he really cared about the project I was working on for him. But at the same time, I just wanted to be like, listen, dickhead, if you want the computer to do the work for you, pay the computer and stop bothering me. You hired a professional. I'm going to be a professional. stop. Like, stop checking my work.
Hired an assassin, bodies are going to drop. What are you asking for?
Right, exactly.
One aspect of AI that I was thinking about last week, and it was related to kind of just like a political podcast that I was listening to, and it wasn't a political podcast, and the Democrats versus Republicans were political. It was kind of like it's political science, like just thinking about ideas,
like theory and stuff.
Yeah. And so like a government exists because like for the benefit of the people. It exists because it's like it has an exclusivity, a monopoly on violence and things like that you can talk about. But ultimately, like the core reason that like a government of people starts up is like, all right, we have a problem that we need to solve collectively for the people, so we're going to try and solve this problem.
In theory.
In theory, yeah. 100%. In everything in theory right there.
Okay.
We got to say in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
So when you take the people out of the equation, right, and you have people in one equation are the taxpayers are funding the government. So the government has like a reason to keep the people alive because like it needs to live off the income from the people.
Got to get paid.
So like if you have ChatGPT and AI becomes like sentient, like they're predicting in 5 years.
Great.
And people don't really aren't really contributing members, and everybody's like has all this chill time that they're projecting, right? And universal basic income and all this, where like the government will slowly develop to protect the AI over the people because they're getting the money from the AI and not the people.
Oh God!
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, I hate that, but I also already see that. I mean,
you kind of see the road. It's already kind of
I mean, look at all the protections being offered to the corporations that are producing AI. You know, like just that shit that happened with somebody throwing a Molotov cocktail or whatever at Sam Altman's house. They're like immediately trying to bang him with terrorism charges. You know what I mean? Like the preferential treatment because there's so much money in it, and you know, there's all the government contracts and everything. It just
it's that sovereign individual.
We got to kill computers. That's it. They got to go. We got to go back to like Apple IIgs and Game Boy and no more of these computers that can think for themselves. I'm over it.
It's kind of when you like hear like Sam Altman and some of those folks speak, like there's no place that like I can connect to like this need to create a collective sentient like. Because basically what's happening is like we're all putting all of our questions in there, and then eventually like there's just going to be like this one software that just knows everything that everybody has put into it, and people are going to be like, why does it know everything?
I hate
like,
that.
Oops.
I feel like that's like so invasive of privacy in a lot of ways too, and just like destroys individuality. And you know, if everybody's using ChatGPT and it's just everybody's thoughts pooled, everybody's pulling ideas from the same place, like I don't know, that like destroys creativity. And I place I'm seeing a lot of issues with AI is in music. Like, I don't know if you know how there's albums popping up on Spotify that are just completely AI generated. And not only are they completely fake AI artists, there's albums popping up by actual bands that are AI generated. And you're seeing the bands post on their social media, hey, we don't know who posted this. This isn't us. This is AI. And that's just, I hate that shit. And when I do music contracts, that's a big clause I always put in there that none of my clients' material can be used to train AI. That, you know, whatever label's signing them, like, don't care. Can't do that. You can't use, and
then how do you like hold them to that?
That's what I was just going to say. Like, that's a sketchy thing to enforce. I guess you'd pretty much have to catch them red-handed. And in a situation like that, you know, the way I could see it progressing is like we catch them red-handed and then we see how much money they made from whatever they scalped. And, you know, we take that money from my client. But, you know, with the sophistication of these programs and just like how much music is out there and like, you know, nobody hears every single song, like that could be tough. You know, it's more of like a theoretical, like, oh, it feels good to know that we're protected. But, you know, how much are you actually protected? Who knows?
Did you start practicing law before you started doing jiu-jitsu?
No. I started jiu-jitsu in 2010, like right when I started law school, and like I was like off and on a lot just because I started law school, and then I passed the bar in 2014, and I opened my firm in April 2014.
Nice. Have you ever had to use jiu-jitsu to enforce law?
No. Okay. I mean, I had to use jiu-jitsu to do things that weren't in line with the law before, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes,
It wasn't on film. It didn't happen.
Someone so wise man told me to always add allegedly.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
He may or may not be in this room.
Yeah, allegedly.
So HeelHookvlt, when we last talked, like, was kind of just like an idea that you were like, it was a t-shirt idea. You wanted to kind of have like a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Did you know that it was going to kind of pop off in the way that it has? And then what has been like your experience with like what it has become?
So I wouldn't say that I like knew it was going to pop off, but I know myself, and I can't half-ass anything. If I decide I'm doing something, I'm fucking doing it. Like, I'm not going to be satisfied with just like, okay, I made one shirt design, that's that. I saw the interest based on the first drop, and I was like, wow, there really might be something here. It's kind of like an untapped market, and I hate using that because I try not to think of it from a capitalist sense because I'm not making money off it. It's just paying for itself. The money that does come in, I just reinvest right in the community, it be it like sponsorships or like, even just paying for more merch or things like that. It's been an interesting experience because I feel like every drop, it picks up more momentum, and I'll go places and I'll see people wearing my shit. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. I was watching Kyle compete out in Chicago and at his brother Alex, and obviously I sponsor both of them, and there was some random guy in the crowd wearing one of my shirts. I was like, who the fuck is that? That's really cool.
Yeah.
I would say anytime I'm at a somewhat local jiu-jitsu event, I can always see at least one of my pieces of gear, and that's really cool. For me, it was I'm a firm believer, if you don't like how things are, make something of your own. Like, don't bitch about what other people are doing. Like, do what you want to do, and don't worry about what other people are doing if you're not into it. So that was kind of the whole point of this for me, to, see where I could take this, because I wanted cooler designs. Like, obviously there's metal band rash guards for like the bigger metal bands like Slayer and Iron Maiden. I think that shit sucks. I wanted to do original art that was in reverence to the music I grew up on and like the music I spend all my time listening to. So I carved out my own niche, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. Right now talking about putting out another record under the brand, which would be cool. Nothing confirmed or definite yet. We have one tape release that Gilmore pulled up right there. Antihalix, which are local guys, friends of mine. They wanted to do tapes. I was like, hey, I'll do cassettes. Let's do it.
Ooh, that's sick.
That's really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a popular format in underground music because, frankly speaking, they're pretty cheap to produce, and you can get them quickly. It's like a quick turnaround, whereas like vinyl pressing can take absolutely forever, and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
So for a band like these guys, it's almost like an artifact tied to a digital album. Like, you hold the cassette in your hand, but when you buy it, you also get the digital album through this platform, Bandcamp. So
you can put the cassette on the shelf as like a memento.
I mean, if that's what you want to do. I collect cassettes because one of my best friends is a dickhead and came over with a birthday present that was a tape player. And again, with me not doing anything half-assed, I started buying a million cassettes. So, I've listened to the tape and it sounds great. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people who have bought it or buy tapes in general do that. They just buy the tape and it comes with the digital download, so they listen to the digital version.
Do you prefer vinyl though?
Cassette? Yeah. I know it's the corny cliche snob thing, but like, it does sound better, especially if you have a good system. Obviously, if you're buying like one of those $100 vinyl players with like built-in speakers from Target, it's just going to sound like ass. But if you have something nice, yeah, it really does sound better.
What kind of record player do you have?
Right now, I got a Denon that I really like, and I forget the other one. We have one in our bedroom and then one in our living room, and actually the kids both have one in their room too. They have their own little record collection.
That's cool.
Yeah, my youngest daughter just has Scatman records because she's really into Scatman. But my older kid has like her own little taste in music, so that's dope.
When leading up to becoming a parent, I would like always like watch Dane's kids at like different jiu-jitsu classes or different things, and like, dude, I would just like ponder, and I would ask him questions occasionally, because like your kids are like, I don't know what it is about them, like they're really good kids. Like, you can tell, like, I don't know your kids well. I've met your daughter, but like they're like, they shake your hand, they're like, I don't know. Like you're doing something where like you're raising good humans, and
Thank
like
you.
so like all the time I'll be like, oh, how do you do that? What do you? I'll probably be asking you questions like because I'm just getting started here.
Yeah.
But like
You're
I
just
do I
beginning.
will say like there is something to say about your character and just like watching how your children are out in the world.
Thank you. And I think honestly, like, not to sound cliche, but that's like the most important thing I do is like raising them to be good humans. And it's harder and easier than you can even really explain in words. And like the biggest takeaway is really like your kids watch more than they listen. And like all of the coolest things about my kids are things they've seen from me or Allison, as opposed to like me like trying to beat lessons into their head.
Yeah, it's a really, and like you saying that, it is exemplary to see like the way your kids, particularly like your older daughter, you can tell she's her own person.
Very much.
And when I see that in such a young person, like you can only like that can only be exciting, because like you're starting life like at your age. I was not like I was maybe on the same level as your daughter like 5 years ago.
Right.
Like I got to that level of like awareness of like you can tell when she like sits down, she's by herself, like kid's just dialed in. So I'm like when I look at what you're doing, I'm like, it makes sense when you just said that, like, because they're just a representation of like, because you hold the line on when there's a line to be held, like I see you holding it.
The easiest examples I can think of are jujitsu and weightlifting. And specifically, I'm talking about my older kid. You know, my younger kid's about to be 4. She's a chaos gremlin. You know, like she just fanatic. She's a nut, but like, you know, she's starting her own journey of like really finding out who she is. But my older kid, I never told her to lift weights. I, you know, started playing jujitsu games with her during COVID, but it's never been a thing that it was like mandatory. Like I told her that I want her to train enough to be able to protect herself using it if she has to. But the fact that she sees me like, man, I don't want to train today. I'm really sore, but I'm going to go because that's the right thing to do. Or, you know, it's, 3 o'clock. It's time for me to lift weights. Like she's seen me do it. And she's also seen me be real about it. Like I said, you know, she'll see me say that I don't want to do it today, but I'm going to. But she'll also see if I'm like injured or like there's something going on to give myself grace too and be like, all right, today I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to make up for it. So I think seeing that balance, that it's never been like a mandatory thing, but also seeing the benefits from it. Like this sounds kind of dickheaded, but whatever, I don't care. You know, she will compare me to the other dads in her school, and she'll be like, Dad, all the other dads don't look so great. And, you know, my friends comment that my dad's really in shape. And I'm like, well, it's because I do this stuff. So she sees the benefits that it gives me. She sees that at 42, I'm able to bounce around and, like, play with her and her sister and, like, do all this fun shit with my time that younger dads aren't. So, again, it's the watching, not the telling. So that's been really cool to see. And I also, my favorite thing is like watching her sense of pride, you know, just her jiu-jitsu competition, when she hits a PR on a lift, when she learns a new technique, just like how excited she gets. And I've seen her transition from jiu-jitsu's this thing I do because, you know, it's what I do with my time, to like, I love this and I get excited to do this. Like she came with me Monday to guest teach at a school, and there was a teenage girl there who's legitimately very good. And she got to roll with her. And just watching the two of them roll was the coolest damn thing. Like, I watched my kid, first of all, roll looking like a solid blue belt. But second of all, just smiling the whole time. And, like, they did not stop. Like, it was just constant motion. And it was just really, really cool. And it's the same thing with music. Like, I've seen her really start to, like, cling to music. Like, we'll be listening to something in the car. I'll look over. She's, like, bopping along and like developing her own taste. Like she doesn't like everything I like. Like she's really into like punk and things like that. And like, yeah, I like some of that, but that's what she likes. And it's cool.
Yeah, it's got to be cool as a parent. Like even though you don't like it, being like, oh, you like your own stuff. Like I can, you know, thank God you have your own opinions.
Yeah.
Especially being like a person like you're a lawyer. You get paid for your opinions on things.
I also post my opinions constantly that I don't get paid for, as anybody who follows me on social media can tell you. But I find myself funny. That's what matters.
Some might say it's a problem. I don't think so.
What's my boss gonna fire me?
Yeah. It's usually like your posts are, to me, I just like, I'm like, all right. Like sometimes you post about stuff that like I truly like, I'll think about it differently. after your posts.
Oh, good.
So it's funny. But sometimes I straight up don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And that's also funny too, because I'll go and like look up what you're talking about. Like, oh shit. Like sometimes it'll be like maybe something with like, I don't know, the hot button Israel. Like you'll post something like political and I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
And then I'll go and we're like, oh. So like you're kind of unfortunately like one of my sources of news right now. As
Whatever.
Bucks County's leading investigative journalist, you're supplementing the journalism of Bucks County.
I
So
mean,
you're doing
that's
so
cool.
much for fashion and journalism.
Oh, good. That's really important. Those are my two goals, really. Like, my life feels accomplished now that I'm
Yeah, no, it's
that.
actually a benefit to be friends with you, because like there's few people in my world, and I don't know if it's just because of how things have come together as like business and things, but there's few people that would tell me that I'm out of line.
Yeah, I'm really good at that.
Yeah. So like I kind of keep you around. Like if I were actually doing something or did something, like I know in my heart that like you would say something to me.
Yeah. I mean,
So, like,
I'm
that's-
good for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's why I like support your posts. I'm like, oh, we got to keep this going because like someday I might be on here. I might be on blast.
Well, don't worry. I would tell you. I don't put people on blast. I will tell them first.
Sometimes I might need it though.
Hey, well, if you need it, then you'll get it.
What you're doing a lot more seminars and like coaching and things like that. Like you obviously coach at Saga and you're like a big active part of that community.
Yeah.
How important is it to you to kind of get out and spread your seed?
I mean, it really depends on the context. Like, for example, I'm doing that seminar in Chicago for my friend Elias's school, and like, I really believe in what he does because it's not just a school. Like, he does a lot of community work. Works with the community. Allows low-income people to train, and like, helps marginalized communities find their own community, and like, he's very inclusive, and like it's not, to me, it's not just like going and teaching at my friend's jiu-jitsu school in Chicago. It's going and supporting his mission. So that's what's important to me. As far as like just teaching in of itself, I wouldn't say that's super important. I would say that, like, for example, I guest taught at Galaxy on Monday, and that's because, I know Jill, the owner of Galaxy, and like I like Jill. So it's community participation is what's important to me, not necessarily the act of teaching, like, passing on knowledge or whatever. In fact, sometimes I really can't stand teaching. I'm really lucky the classes I do teach, like the day classes at Saga and then, the leg lock class at Evans, they're filled with the kind of people I can tolerate to teach. And by that, I mean people who are actually there to learn. They're not just like showing up to jiu-jitsu because they want to post on Instagram that they're going to jiu-jitsu. They're there because they actually want to learn. And that I enjoy. Like, if I'm going to sit there and teach somebody, I want to be able to like talk to them about nuance. I don't just want to be like, here is the move. Let's do rote repetition. Like, no, let's like get into the nitty gritty and figure out why it works for me, how you can make it work for you. And maybe I can learn something in the process.
What's it like to be recognized for like a skill set? Like or any sort of skill set like that, because like you're known, like people that don't know you know Danny Katz for like the leg lock game. Is that sometimes like challenging as like a jiu-jitsu person? Is it like something you just don't even really think about? Because is that weird?
I mean, I don't really think about it because, as high of an opinion as I have of myself, like I don't take myself too seriously at the same time. Where I notice it is anytime somebody's rolling with me for the first time, they try to leg lock me. They want to be the ones to leg lock the leg lock. It hasn't really happened yet, to be honest with you. Like don't get me wrong, there are people out there who can do it, but like it's not something that like I see happen very frequently. And like, I can think of maybe like 3 or 4 people who have leg locked me at black belt, and with me actually like trying to defend it. I'll give people my leg and work shit all the time, but like, so that can be kind of annoying, especially because like most times I'm not working on that. I want to work on something else. And if you're dragging me into a leg lock battle, at some point my answer is going to be to counter leg lock you. And I don't want that. Like getting ready for, the last few competitions, I was working my top game. And when people are trying to fucking leg lock me the whole time, I'm like, all right, I guess we're doing this again. So that can be annoying. It is cool in the sense that people will ask me questions, like people I respect who are already really good at jiu-jitsu, to like break things down for them. I can think of like, Kyle, for example, has asked me stuff. Dennis, another guy I sponsor, who's a fantastic black belt competitor, have both talked to me about like breaking moves down, like real excitedly. Even Maida, the co-owner of Saga with Kyle, has like talked to me about that stuff. And that's awesome. Like being like, wow, I'm like the subject matter expert here. That's cool. And, it's a double-edged sword. It's cool to be considered a source of knowledge by people I respect, but it's fucking annoying when I'm trying to train something else and people want to rip my feet off, because eventually we're going to get into a gun battle and I'm going to win and I'm bored.
He's going to tickle your feet.
Yeah. The foot fetish jokes never stop, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know. It's just effective.
It's, I would love to see like when you watch all those like convenience store robberies and stuff like that. I'm just like lying in wait for someone to like get like an ankle, like a heel hook or something, and just like save the day.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen most likely, just because, quite frankly, to be able to leg lock in a situation that isn't just like a grappling situation, even like an MMA fight is very, very difficult. Like,
things kind of went a little wrong if you're in the position of like grabbing someone's ankle in a fight.
I mean, you look at like Ryan Hall and Gary Tonin, two absolutely world-class, some of the best in the world leg lockers. They both got fucked up real badly trying to leg lock in an MMA fight. I'm pretty sure both of them got knocked out in that position. So it's not, for me, if I were in a situation where I needed to defend myself, a leg lock is the last thing I would go for. The few times I've had to,
allegedly
keep myself safe, allegedly, that has not been a thought in my mind.
Rear naked choke?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Or
Clap
just
hands.
mount somebody and like tell somebody to chill the fuck out. That works pretty well too.
You're supposed to give applause, Gilmore. Rear naked choke always gets applause. He's laughing at you. What so when everybody is like everybody wants to talk to Danny about legs, but nobody asks Danny what Danny wants to talk about.
Yeah, there's some of that too. Like, it's never like, hey, what are you working on? It's always like, hey, so I'm really bad at this. You're not. How can I be not so bad at this?
Everybody talks about how big Danny is, but nobody says how Danny's doing.
No. Everybody talks about how small I am lately. I'm like, yeah, I know. I did this on purpose.
Yeah, you were a thick boy there for a while.
Yeah, I got up to over 200 pounds.
It's kind of frustrating for the world around you to experience 200-pound Danny. I remember one time I was like, yo, bro, you're big. You're like, I'm not even 200. And I was like, there's no way. On a Monday night, I was like, there's no way, dude. Like, you just moved me around. And then you dropped down to like 150 and you did the exact same thing. And I was like, oh, damn, little Danny's a problem too.
Well, I mean, I definitely was stronger when I was bigger. Like, I noticed that. But my jiu-jitsu's better sorted to me being like this 150 to 165 range. Like, that's where my jiu-jitsu's best.
The biggest I got up to was like low 180s.
Yeah.
And then got back down to 150. And I would say like I kept the strength, but the energy, I felt like I could go more.
That was the biggest thing I noticed, that when I was like my absolute heaviest, like my deadlift was the highest it's ever been. And like, I was already over 40 and like, I don't take steroids. I'm not on TRT. So like, it wasn't the gear helping me out or anything like that. But I would get out of breath. I'm like, dude, my cardio is fucking good. Like, I can roll a 10-minute round and not be panting. And like, there would be rounds where I'd be rolling for 2 minutes and I'd be like, shit, I'm fucking tired. It's just how it goes. More muscle requires more blood, all that.
Yeah. Why at a bigger weight would the deadlift like increase? Because your core is what's driving the deadlift. I mean,
I had more muscle mass as a whole. I mean, it's also, your lower posterior chain, which was way, way thicker. I mean, my wife laughs at me because like when I was that big, she was like, your ass is huge and so are your legs. Holy shit. Every pair of shorts you wear are booty shorts now. Congrats.
Yeah. Do you find people like you less now that you're smaller?
I don't know. I really don't pay a lot of attention to whether or not people like me as a whole.
People ask for less hugs now that he's smaller. The hugs aren't
nobody asks me for hugs. That's never been a thing. People don't want me to touch them most times. I'm good with that though.
So going back to what does Danny want to talk about? What do you focus your training on right now? Like, what kind of like aspects to your game are you trying to improve?
I've been trying, like I said, I've been working on my top game, and the way I tend to work on things for myself is really, really like small movements and seeing where they lead. Like the best example I can give is lately I've been passing guard getting to side control and doing what I've been calling an over back grip. I think other people may call it that too. I really don't watch instructionals for the most part, so I don't know what the names are for a lot of things sometimes.
I got a few stripes on a purple belt, and there's still names that I'm just like, yeah. People like, oh, what's this again? And I'll be like, bro, don't do that to me. You're making me feel inferior.
If
You're
it's somebody
blue belt,
annoying, I'll make a name up sometimes. I'll be like, oh yeah, this is the fucking tutu. I don't know, man.
It's the Uchimachi.
Yeah.
Uchimata. Just like make it up, something like that.
But like that over back grip, that's what I've been doing. I've just been like reaching over people's back, keeping my elbow really tight because I've noticed it's led to north-south chokes, which I'm pretty good at. I like guillotines a lot. I like Darce chokes, and I actually. My wife's been coming to a lot of my day classes just because of her work schedule. So I've been, I'll ask her like, well, what do you want me to teach today? And she goes, Peruvian neckties. And I was like, holy shit, I haven't even tried one of those since blue belt. And I taught it that day. And I was like, oh, not only can I do these, I like these. So for like the next week and a half, I terrorized everyone. I think I Peruvian necktied pretty much everybody but the black belts at my gym now. It's just been something I like, and it comes off that over back grip. So like, that's kind of what I've been working on, just, top game and chokes. Because I'm a firm believer that, especially in a competition, a tough guy might eat you breaking his shit, but nobody's eating going to sleep. They're just asleep. So that, for a self-defense purpose too, like that's why rear naked choke. Like if I put somebody to sleep, they're done swinging. If some psycho's on meth or something and I'm having to fight him off, I break his leg, I break his arm, maybe he's still coming. If he's asleep, I walk away.
Yeah. All right.
So that's what I'm working on, choking people.
Choke yoga.
Yeah. Ugh, do people call it that?
Choke yoga?
Choke yoga.
Sometimes if I want to make someone uncomfortable, I'll call it choke yoga.
Ugh, that's shit from a butt. I don't
Shit from a butt.
Ugh.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll use that for like, I don't know how you handle it, but I'm kind of like a pain in the ass with inviting people to jiu-jitsu that I think need it.
Oh, I don't do that.
Particularly my like male friends that I'm just like, bro, I could literally like whatever I want to do with you, like whatever, right? Like you have no defense. And they'll be like, yeah. I'll be like, bro, no. Like you do your breath work exercises, and we'll keep training for this day when we wrestle at the picnic. But so then in that instance, I'll be like, why don't you come to choke yoga?
Oh, okay. I understand the context
but like
now.
amongst like non-jiu-jitsu people, I probably wouldn't be throwing that around so
fair enough
abusively.
Yeah, I don't invite anyone to jiu-jitsu really. I had like the same core group of friends pretty much my whole adult life, and they all just like that's Danny's thing. He goes to jiu-jitsu. I had a few like acquaintances ask me about it, and like I've even had some friends like come in to train and be like, yeah, this wasn't really for me, and like that's cool, man. But I don't. It was never me asking. I've never been like, you should come do this, because nah, like that's my time.
I guess I took the name Fight for Tomorrow a little too seriously.
Hey, whatever.
I'm just trying to fight for tomorrow too hard and just invite people to the fight.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just I feel like if one of my friends wanted to do it, they know it's so accessible to them that they would let me know. And I as much as I do jiu-jitsu, I kind of hate it too. So like, I'm basically inviting people to do this thing that I'm like, I do this fucking terrible thing 7 days a week. So if you really want to come, come on. So I don't really reach out and tell people to come.
Yeah, I'll try and think of more creative ways to say jiu-jitsu.
Thank you.
Because jiu-jitsu is
important to me.
It's hard to say for me.
I just say grappling.
Grappling. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you think jiu-jitsu is becoming too commercialized?
I mean,
you want the sport to grow.
Yeah.
But it's also like, is it growing the right way right now?
No. My issue isn't that it's too commercialized. It's that the way it is being commercialized is often exploiting athletes. And I think the easiest example to that off the top of my head is exclusive contracts for UFC BJJ. I mean, the opportunities as a professional athlete in the sport, like, yeah, there's more of them, and that's great. I love that. But to limit opportunities through exclusive contracts, like, and they're not getting paid that much, I hate that.
So the UFC grappling contracts, that those guys aren't fighting in the octagon. They're doing strictly the grappling match.
Yeah, they have UFC BJJ. It's like a separate thing, which has been mostly fucking terrible if you've seen any of the matches. Like, they've been rough, but...
Not allegedly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like something like that, especially because, obviously UFC, like they control like what you wear for sponsorship purposes. And anytime you see those matches, they're wearing, UFC BJJ branded gear. So, they're losing an opportunity for sponsorship for that.
Okay.
Even on a small level, like, in all transparency, I have not seen any of these contracts beyond what maybe has been posted in pieces on social media, but I can't imagine they're not super restrictive. I mean, there was even the thing that if you were an active UFC fighter and you were doing that Fury or CFFC grappling, whatever it is that they call the thing at the 2300 arena now, that your match wasn't allowed to have heel hooks. So, like, there's lots of crazy stipulations in UFC-based contracts, and I don't think that's good for the sport. I think another issue is the whole, like, influencer culture infiltrating BJJ. Like, there's just a lot of people that are less obsessed with, like, progressing in the sport and like being a role model and more obsessed with creating content. A lot of the content is either just like shitty bullying, like cruelty, or just like not funny asshole humor, like, punching down or just like mocking people. And like that's fucking whack. Like,
are you talking about like that what's it, who's that guy, Johnny something with the dirty move of the week or something like that, like stuff like that?
I don't know that one. No,
I think his name's Heel Hook Johnny, and this is Heel Hook Johnny, and with your dirty move of the week. And like the first one I saw of him, he was like it was him. The videos are actually kind of funny sometimes. Like it was him going to the bathroom barefoot and then coming out on the, like, they'll make it so it'll be like it's obviously cringy, but like if you weren't watching this, you'd be like, if you didn't know, you might not know.
Yeah, I mean, some stuff, like, I'm not saying jiu-jitsu needs to be this sterile, humorless thing. And, like, humorous content, like, I love a lot of Craig Jones' stuff. I crack up at it fairly frequently. But, the same fucking gay jokes or whatever over and over, it's so boring. And, like, these people that think because they do jiu-jitsu, they're, like, some kind of God's gift to the world, and they're just, like, an expert on everything. The black belts that round everybody up at the end of class to like preach about whatever the fuck, like that kind of stuff. It just makes me roll my eyes. And I don't want to see somebody posting content more than I want to see them training or competing. Like, I'm more interested in seeing jiu-jitsu athletes be athletes than I am seeing them be personalities. Like, I like personalities in the sport. I think, again, Craig Jones, for example, like someone like that's good for the sport in a lot of ways, but not just because he's funny. He's also doing things that I think are cool, like CJI and being loud about, bad things happening, like sexual assaults at gyms. Like, that's more important than the fact that he cracks me up.
Yeah. That's a really interesting perspective to the sport that I guess I just don't ever really think about. Because like raising awareness to the right issues and not to too many of the wrong ones will like help the sport grow like correctly. What do you think the sport, like, what do you think we as jiu-jitsu athletes or like the sport as a whole could be doing better, or like what could be done differently to grow?
A lot.
Yeah.
First off, I think a level of like consistent professionalism across competition events would help. Like, a unified rule set, making it more accessible to people, just monetarily. I think, paying professional athletes, like making it possible to do this professionally. Nobody would play baseball professionally if it didn't pay a lot. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you'd have nobody. I guess that's unfair. Like, some people would obviously do it for the love of the game, but like, there's a lot of money in it. Like, that's why most people are motivated to be a pro athlete, because they're like, shit, I'm good at this. Oh, I can also make a lot of money. I think, that's also easy for me to say because there's not a lot of money in the sport to begin with. Like, there's not massive cash infusions happening. And like, without that kind of money, it is kind of hard to change the big picture.
Is that what you're doing with like Heel Hook Cult though? Like, if your brand continues on the trajectory that it's on, and you're releasing drops every month and not every 2 or 3 months, like, would you consider like financially growing the sport in the way that you could, where you're like,
oh yeah,
because you're already sponsoring athletes on some level.
Yeah.
Like, is that the goal?
I mean, the goal is to give back any way I can. Like, for example, you can see in what Gilmore pulled up, like, I'm sponsoring a team for a finishers event. I'm also sponsoring the finishers team down in Texas. And like, obviously that, there's a monetary contribution there, but to me, it's, you know, when I see people who are like doing it right, I guess, for lack of a better word, I want to, you know, put my support behind it. And, you know, what does that mean? Whatever they need, I try to do. You know, I've paid expenses for athletes, you know, my athletes to compete and things like that. You know, I always give them free gear. I want to create a supportive community. I want to help, you know, and, you know, Evan at Fight for Tomorrow, you know, I wholly believe in what he's doing with the path. You know, so I support that. That's why we're one of the sponsors of that. Like that's important to me. Like, you know, feeding the community that I believe is the good part of the community. And, you know, again, like it goes back to what I said, like I'm not into shit talking what people are doing wrong. I just want to support what's right.
Like, so you're basically, the tactic is just put a spotlight on the good behavior, and to the point that like the bad behavior just kind of goes away.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope, you know? I mean, like you can point your finger at, you know, the bad actors. They're everywhere, you know? I mean, you just saw what happened with Atos, you know? Like the main guy got accused of wild shit, and he's a huge figure in the sport. You know, not to say people like that shouldn't be called out. Like, they absolutely should be called out. But, like, I don't have the size platform that me calling somebody out is more productive than me raising up the right kind of people, you know? I mean, if I had 2 million followers, sure. Like, if I heard something that needed to be called out, absolutely, I would call it out. And, you know, even when I'm talking to my friends who, like, own schools or, like, prominent black belts, like, you know, I'll talk about bad things that are going on. Like, hey, I heard this. Like, that's not cool. Like, something should be done about that just to, like, get the ball rolling, hopefully. But I also think there's a problem where some people who spend a lot of time, like, calling people out or compiling lists of bad guys, that's a thing that happens, you know, might be assholes themselves. And
That's what the Bible says.
yeah, I didn't know that,
Something
but
like
now
that.
I do.
It's in there. It roughly.
Is that the whole let he without sin cast the first stone or something?
I didn't even know that much, but he did. Got him.
Got him.
Religious practitioner.
Yeah, everybody says that about me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, they say you love your Christian metal.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
That's actually exactly what it sounds like.
We got him.
Really good impersonation.
He ran from us.
Died for our sins.
For their sins.
For their sins.
Because your Danny's Jewish.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, yeah,
I
sorry.
mean, not technically, but technically.
Yes. He's one of those.
Yes, one of those.
He's a convenient religion.
Yes.
Those are the best kind, honestly. When you get to pick and choose, like, when you're religious, I think that's and I'm not being sarcastic. I think, truthfully, like, picking and choosing when you're religious like that is, like, the best form of religion. Because if you're too into it, it's not good. And then if you're, like, not into it at all, you have zero of the values, you're, like, a big problem. So it's, like, you got to have the values and, like, still be reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
Still be fun to hang out with.
yeah, for sure. I don't identify with being Jewish even a little. I hope my mom doesn't hear this podcast. That'd be the latest thing I did to upset her. But yeah, I don't identify with it at all. I remember growing up, my parents were like, "Oh, we really hope you date a Jewish girl." Literally never happened. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, I can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery, which is fine because I want to be.
Why is that?
If you have tattoos on you, other than like the people in the Holocaust.
Is
who
that
had
a
numbers.
real word? Is that real?
Yeah, apparently. I mean, I don't know. I was told that by a Jew, and I
Yeah, they
assume
know
that's
everything.
Yeah,
They know
well,
it
at least
all.
about that you would think, but yeah.
Damn, I thought I was gonna get in like the last minute.
Nope.
They're the chosen people, so it's like you gotta be in there at the
no.
last moment. My plan was to wait until like right on the time I was about to die and then just get chosen at the last second.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a bad plan.
It's probably not gonna work.
No.
He like chokes me to death right now.
Yeah.
Too late.
Did you get in?
Blow it.
Think twice if you got in.
And I'm like in front of God getting judged. He's like, "What were you thinking? He owns the heel hook cult. You clearly were going to lose. Oh, not forgiven.
He was not going to get you in.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah.
Love thy neighbor." What the one question I had, like, or not one question, the next question. What does like success look like to you right now? Like when you talk to a lot of people, success looks, they have a monetary figure, they have a size of a business, how many kids they want to have. Like, what does Danny Katz like currently, like what does success look like?
Are we talking like globally for my life or specifically for anything, or you just want me to hear that word and do a word association?
Like when you're driving along in your car and you're like, I'm working on this. Like this is where I need to get to.
That's
because I personally think success is the pursuit of like one's true potential.
Yeah, and
you're obviously always pursuing. So I'm interested to hear like what you're after.
Okay. So as far as like monetary or like benchmarks for success for me, I don't want more than what I have now. I want to be able to sustain this the rest of my life. And by that, what I mean is if I decide I wake up tomorrow, I got a wild hair up my ass to buy myself something nice, like I can do that for the rest of my life. I don't ever want to have to say no to my kids unless they're asking for something ridiculous, which Ivy, being 3, often does. But like, it's something as simple as like, hey, I'm taking Eve to see a concert, and she was like, I really want an outfit that like looks like something the artist wears. Like, just being able to be like, yeah, sure, we'll go to the mall, whatever. Like, just being able to do that. That's like monetary and like materialistically like what I want. As a whole, though, success for me means to constantly find new challenges, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I like succeed at the challenge. Like, for example, if I decide I want to do a competition, do I want to win? Yeah, obviously. Like, I want gold. That's success to me too. But the success for me comes in the ability to meet the challenge. Like, the strength of character, the dedication, the willingness to work hard. Like, to be able to do that for the rest of my life too. Like, I was talking to somebody and I was saying that I hate competing. Like, I really don't like competing. And it's not because I'm nervous. I'm not fucking scared. Like, it's not that at all. I hate being the center of attention, which is kind of funny. When I was a singer for a band, like, towards the end of the band, like, I would not look at the crowd. I would just face the drummer the whole time. And people would be like, oh, are you nervous? I'm like, no, I fucking hate that everybody's looking at me. Stop looking at me. And, like, that's really ridiculous for the front man to say, but whatever. But I do it because it's another test. Like, competing is a test, and it is a way to push myself. I know that I train harder. I know that I watch my diet more. I know that I lift harder. I do these things that are challenging. So meeting challenges, that's my idea of success. I want to constantly find new challenges. Like, for example, next year, I've decided I'm going to compete in 2 things that aren't jiu-jitsu. I'm going to do some kind of striking competition. I grew up striking. Obviously, I'm very fucking rusty. I haven't done it consistently in like 6 years. And recently, I've gotten really into shooting pistols, and I've decided I wanted to compete in something. Like, I don't even know enough about shooting to know what kind of competition I want to do. And, like, I haven't landed on any specific striking thing. But I've decided those are the next challenges I want to be able to meet. And to meet those challenges, for me, I have to be proficient enough that I don't go into them and embarrass myself. And I have a pretty high threshold for embarrassment, but I just want to know that I prepared. And if I go in and I'm in a striking fight and I get knocked the fuck out, then I got knocked the fuck out. But as long as I trained appropriately and got myself there in the right way, that's success. And same thing with shooting. I could get last place in the whole competition. But if I practiced, if I did everything right, and like that's just the way it goes, that's the way it goes.
It'd be cool to see Danny do like a 3-gun competition.
I don't even know what that is.
So you have pistol, rifle, and shotgun.
Oh, okay. Well,
and
that's
then
why it's 3.
you get it's timed, and then you have to like go through like an obstacle course of some sort. Like it's at a range, and like you'll do like boom, 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 and like at each point, like your next, like you have your pistol on your hip, so like you'll go like pistol, 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 and then you'll come up to the next barrel, and your rifle will be there, and like you'll hit those things, and then like so it's like timed and like
that'd be cool.
Miss hit accuracy, stuff like that.
Something like that sounds fun, and like like I just want to be able to be in a position, and again, I guess it goes back to financial too, to be able to do those sorts of things, to be able to be like, I can afford the next challenge I want to tackle.
You know what, Gunner? You know Gunner Bolf, obviously.
Of course.
Bucks County. He's Bucks County bad boy, right? He's Bucks County's bad boy.
One half of
because he beat AJ Curcio in the garage battle.
Yeah, facts.
Of 2020. Do you know about this?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
AJ Curcio, who you may or may not know, just hit Gunner up before they were friends, and like they met because he like challenged Gunner to like a wrestling match in Gunner's garage. Like they didn't even know each other.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. So we had them both on the podcast as the Bucks County Bad Boys, and we were like, we talked about who won, and Gunnar was like, AJ was good, but you know.
Did AJ
And then
have
AJ
any
was like,
sort
"What are
of
you
formal
talking
training?
about?" Yeah. He was you know Justin Flores.
Yeah.
So AJ and I, our first like MMA experience, like I had boxing, karate, and then met Justin Flores at the same. So I met AJ and like
Gotcha.
So AJ has like the same amount of training as I do.
Okay. I mean, Justin Flores, no joke.
Yeah, I don't quite like when people are like, "Oh, how'd you get into it?" I'm like, I don't know how to explain this, but like I kind of met like the best guy ever to be a teacher accidentally at this place called the Grindhouse in the basement of a gym, and now he's like the foremost expert of like, you know, grappling and stuff like that.
He's
And people are like, what? And then be like, and then it's happened with like Mikey Musumeci, and then it, like, or Pat Sabat. There's all these like random people that like I just never really trained at like that elite level, but was always around those people. Yeah. So I'm blessed in that way.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's that's been cool. But your success, I think that's probably the healthiest way to approach life, in my naive and narrow opinion.
I think people, like, obviously money is important because you have to pay to live, unfortunately, in the modern world. But like, I think people who have this fixation on like, I'm not successful until I reach X dollars amount. And I used to be that way. I remember saying to my wife on our first date that I would consider myself successful when I made $1 million in 1 year. And like, if I were to make $1 million this year, I'd be like, oh shit, that's cool. And it wouldn't feel like some like, I did it. Like, I would just be like, that's cool. I can put a lot of money away to chase new challenges and not say no to my kids.
Yeah, I think that's important to like rationalize like your relationship with money. People that have like a negative relationship with money look at money as like a material thing, and they don't realize that money's a tool. Like when people are like, oh, I can't charge enough, or like I don't want to charge the right price. I'll charge cheap because like people like won't pay for like things. When you have like that negative mentality, it's like you have to lose that, or you aren't going to be able to like do your dreams.
Right.
Like it's really just a tool to. It's like money to me is like if you took like energy when you turn a light bulb on. Like the energy is going through the light bulb in like the form of, you know, friction and then light. So like you can see it, but like money is just like the light of what we're doing. It's just our energy. Like if you are doing what you're doing with your time, like it's not a foolproof like concept, but like you see people that are like really, really financially successful. Not always, but a lot of times, like when I've met them or done business with them, it's like they've gotten there for a clear reason.
Right.
Like you're doing quite well for yourself comparatively to like the world, right?
Yeah, I'd like to
but
think
you're
so.
pursuing like it's coming to you because you're pursuing the right things. And I find people that like if you're not pursuing the right things for the right reasons, like you're always up against that, like why isn't it coming to me? Like why does money seem like such like a thing that's over there? And it's like you really just have to connect the right reasons.
I mean, I definitely used to have freakouts, you know, just because obviously, as you know, when you run your own business, your income is uncertain. Like, I don't know what I'm going to make in April as a whole, you know, and my wife would laugh at me because I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. And every time I would get stressed about money, I'd get a big paying client, like without fucking fail. So I think at some point my brain was just like, dog, even if you're stressed right now, you're not going to be. So fucking chill. And like, you just can't. And especially because, like, shit happens, too. Like, you know, we live in a house that was built in 1900. So, like, we're always discovering little fun things about it. Like, you know, I remember my older daughter calling me into their bathroom after she had finished taking a shower. Like, Dad, there's rocks in my shower. And, well, that wasn't rocks. That was pieces of drywall because it was covered in fucking mold and we needed to gut the whole bathroom. So, you know, it's really cool surprises like that all the time. You know,
they come in, you're like, yes, those are death rocks.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, don't eat that. Get the hell out of this room. Yeah, so like,
I just picture your 3-year-old just being like, I'm a scat man.
There's mold everywhere.
You're just like holding it together and be like, oh, I just got to renovate this bathroom. Just
my wife did a spa overnight on Friday with one of our friends, and it was just me hanging out with my little one, and I listened to that fucking Scatman song, I think like 17 times in a row. And like, I'm the kind of person, I can't listen to the same song twice in a row. It is like poisonous to my blood or something to do that.
Yeah.
And
you're a music guy, so like
yeah, and I listen to a lot of different shit. You know, like it's funny, people like pigeonhole me as like, oh, he's that metal guy, but like, dude, no, I'm not just that metal guy. But yeah, anyway, like, you know, we had to listen to it over and over, and she's like, just play it again, Dad. And I'm like, all right, fucking fine. Like, and that's one thing I always try to do. Like, you know, I always try to, like, keep a smile on my face when I'm eating shit, you know, for the kids. Like, I wouldn't say I'm the most, like, sunshiny person. Nobody would ever accuse me of that. But, like, when it comes to my kids, I really try to, like, be that. And I think that's also good for me. It kind of helps me lose a little of my cynicism and my sharpness sharpness in a bad way, not like quick wit.
Oh yeah, Danny without kids is evil.
Dude, you have no idea.
Danny no kids is we're not safe.
Danny no kids.
No, man.
Danny no kids. That's like his alter ego.
Danny no
I can't
kids.
honestly say that I would still be an attorney right now if I didn't have kids. I can't honestly say I would be anywhere remotely good if I didn't have kids.
What's Danny no kids? Evil Danny.
Danny no
I can't
kids.
believe it. What would that look like? What would you do professionally?
I will not admit that on camera. Let's just say I would have a nice white suit and some really cool aviators, and my shirt would be open at all times.
Yeah.
And the weather would be warm, and I'd
Miami.
He'd live in Tulum.
he gets it. Yep, something like that.
Yeah.
He'd be lifting coconut weights with like
Yeah.
some girls practicing for free diving or something.
Yeah. Precisely.
Yeah.
And it would be a fucking shit show. It would be like me at 19, but amplified.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got that across.
Yeah.
We're glad you have kids.
Me too.
The world's a better place.
Yeah, world is a better place that way.
What do you think? What do you think a move in jiu-jitsu that's played out or like is just getting too much hype right now?
Huh.
And that's not on my list. That was just something that I was like going through this list. I was like, that's actually good. I was gonna say Go Plata, but that's a real move.
Yeah, no, I don't think there. I don't think there is one. I think.
Okay.
I think things become part of the meta. Like, for example, buggy chokes. People got really excited about buggy chokes, and then you have the other camp that's like buggy chokes are bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I think that's any move. You know, you'll see these moves come into favor, and like people be hitting them a lot in competition, and then defenses will come out, then they'll drop out of favor. I think good jiu-jitsu, to me, is kind of timeless. Like, it'll come and go in waves. You know, like 5 years from now, for all you know, closed guard might be the thing again. You know, I see people like shit talking things like reverse closed guard, but it works. You know, like.
Yeah, there's some negative energy in the FFT community right now about reverse close guard. I think it's all just. I think it's just how the younger men package the sales product to the older men. They come in these weird, you know, ways, and instead of just like presenting the functionality of the move, they come in and just very antagonistic, and then the older guys get all like, "No, we can't do that. It's not the sport."
Right.
And then I'm all like, "Oh wow."
Oh,
I don't ever check this group chat enough.
I think both camps are fucking stupid in a lot of ways. Like the bitter old people who are like, no, jiu-jitsu is supposed to be cross-collar chokes and, you know, heel hooks are fucking bullshit. And I also think, you know, the hype beasts that are like, this is the new hot move. And like, if you can't do this, you fucking suck. I think that's both pretty dumb. But me personally, as a practitioner, I like to learn everything, man. Like there's so much cool shit out there, and I'm not going to poo-poo any of it. All because something doesn't work for me doesn't make it illegitimate. Like that has nothing to do with the legitimacy of the move. Otherwise, wrestling would be fake. My fucking wrestling sucks. Like I have good defensive wrestling, but you know I'm not shooting on people most times. And you know I was just rolling with one of our black belts right now, who's also a D1 wrestler, and I can tell you right now, wrestling's real. He put me on my ass real quick. You know. I think people are too hung up on like what's real, what's not. You know, like obviously, like you'll see some videos like that dickhead from Detroit, like that Dust guy who was like making those ridiculous, like this will never work type shit videos.
Oh, the Detroit self-defense.
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name was. Like obviously shit like that is fake. But you know, if something is working in high level competition, it's not fake.
I know something is fake when the comments are shut off.
Yeah, that's
like
that's actually a good
the
sign.
Dust guy, I'm actually he blocked me, so I don't actually see
Good
that
work.
content anymore.
Good work.
I'm not even kidding. I don't. If
No,
I
I
searched
believe
him,
you.
it wouldn't even fucking show up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are really boners about like what other people are doing. It goes back again. Like if you don't like, you know, let's take reverse closed guard for example, then don't fucking do it. But also don't bitch if somebody who does it gets you. You can't be mad that you poo-pooed a move and then get even more mad when it works on you.
Yeah. Like Glock guard, you know, when people get shot.
What?
And they're all like, oh, jiu-jitsu, and then they get shot like wrestling with somebody in the street. And it's like, no, just leave your jiu-jitsu in the gym.
Yeah.
It's just like there's no point. It's a sport. And I think people forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
I think there's self-defense aspects to it for sure, but it is still just a sport.
Well, I mean, I'll put it like this. You know, the times allegedly that I have had to use jiu-jitsu out of the context of the sport, like, I'm not playing De La Riva. You know, you're not going to see me inverting. Like, it's the same. I hate to give credit to the fucking Gracies for anything, but, you know, there is something to be said for the real basic combative jiu-jitsu that they taught sometimes, not all of it. That's the stuff that's going to work in self-defense, you know, closing the distance, making sure you're protected, controlling the head, like, you know, not doing high-risk, dumb fucking moves. You're not going to play some advanced guard, you know, like things like that. But, yeah, for the most part, I think of it like this. From white to blue belt, you essentially learn all of the jiu-jitsu that you would ever use in self-defense. Now, not to say that you perfected it, but you have seen the techniques that would actually work for self-defense. From blue belt and up, you know, you're learning how to do jiu-jitsu against other people who do jiu-jitsu, and that's the sport.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really sound assessment.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, you know, ideally you continue doing jiu-jitsu, and by the time you get to black belt, all the self-defense style techniques, like, you know, you're way better at them than you were at from white to blue belt. But in a sense, I really think, like, that's it. I do, however, think that, you know, kind of like you said, the self-defense aspect is overplayed. You know, have these people selling, like, jiu-jitsu is a perfect self-defense system, which is absolute bullshit.
No, yeah. That's it. It's hard sometimes to see people setting up like women's self-defense programs for that, because you're just kind of when you watch the curriculum or the length the classes are, like, an hour and a half long class, like, once in your life, like, there's not really anything you can teach that's going to make you any better. What I can teach you is just, like, just don't go out of your house.
Right.
That's
you
the
know,
only
you
thing
need to
you
build
probably
muscle memory, reflexes, like, and that takes a lot of fucking repetition. I hate that shit too.
But that's why I like that, like, your level of appreciation of firearms is, like, there's few people I know that are into guns or perhaps carry a firearm allegedly, that actually treat, like, it's kind of like an invisibility cloak. Like, they put it on and they think they're invisible to the world. Like, I'm good to go. Like, I'm safe now.
Yep.
But it's like, no, bro, we all see you walking around still. Like, if you
Right.
pull your gun out, you're going to, like, have to know how to use it. So you just don't pull it out. Like, pulling it out proximity to other people, like, how close you, like, there's a lot of aspects to carrying a firearm that no one really trains. So seeing you train firearms, jiu-jitsu, like, everything you're doing is for your most optimal benefit.
Yeah. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, obviously I don't want conflict. I don't want trouble. You know, violence sucks due to the consequences. But, you know, I think it's really, a lot of fucking gun owners irk me because, you know, kind of like the invisibility cloak thing you said. They buy a gun. They're like, I'm good. You know, they get their carry permit. They're like, I have this in my waist. Like, dog, you don't even know how to draw correctly. Like, you're going to shoot your dick off before you use that successfully because you don't go to the range. You don't know what you're doing. You've never practiced drawing. Like, you don't even, like, your gun jams, you don't even know how to fix it. Like, and yeah, I think, you know, I describe it as, like, I train holistic self-defense. Like, I keep my jiu-jitsu sharp by training. You know, when I was striking all the time, that's a part of it too. And by training with weapons, like, you know, I'm realistic. One thing I do want to do more of, which I haven't done in some time, is, you know, you get like a plastic gun or a plastic knife and you grapple with that. Something I did that was really fucking illuminating is I did something where we had highlighters and we were wearing long sleeve white shirts and, you know, grappling. And the one thing that was incredibly striking is how much highlighter you end up with on you. You're covered in it. Like, you may not think you got, you got. And I remember hearing a phrase, I don't remember exactly who said it. Maybe it was like Dan Anasato or one of those like martial arts guru types, said that the winner of the knife fight dies in the hospital. And, you know, that I remember after doing that being like, holy shit, like, I'm covered in highlighter. I have slashes all fucking over me and I didn't even realize it. And, like, if this was a knife, I would be dead. I think people really severely overestimate their proficiency with weapons, their ability to fight. Jiu-jitsu guys who are like, well, I can fight. I roll around with my friends and do barambolos. Like, maybe you can fight. I'm not going to say a jiu-jitsu guy can't fight. I'm sure some can, but
yeah, my answer to that type of stuff, granted, it's been like a decent amount of time since I've thrown hands.
Good.
In any sort
Be
of
a grown-up.
yeah, it's is elbows. Like, people underestimate elbows in a real fight.
Yeah.
And like, my ability to close distance on you with an elbow to like a critical point is like it's different. Like, the takedowns like that, it's not the same. When you have like the elbow's like kind of a knife of the body. And like, until you can get punched and all that and kicked and everything, but like, until you've been elbowed in the fucking face,
it sucks.
like, it's not really. Then you're like, oh wow, this is
yeah,
you're
elbows
like,
suck.
You're like, it's kind of like, I don't know if it's because like the way it's chained to like the shoulder. Getting hit with an elbow to me was always like, it's always great to hit somebody with an elbow, but getting hit with an elbow is also
miserable.
Like, it's also kind of like, oh, okay, cool.
All
That
the
comes
striking
back
I
and
did.
it's like a boomerang. Like, if you don't catch it, it's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, cool. That's boomerangs are cool, but sometimes they're not.
All the striking I did before I did Muay Thai did not involve elbows, and I remember when I first started like sparring with Muay Thai, being like, "Fuck, this sucks. This is not great." And like, that's anybody who's like, "Oh, I like getting hit." Like, no, you fucking don't. Then you've never been hit hard enough. Like, shut up. Like, you're lying. It's just like people who say, "I like getting tattooed." No, you fucking don't. You like being tattooed afterward. You don't like getting hit. You like learning to fight. Like, no, nobody likes getting hit. That's not a fucking thing. And I was very much reminded of that the first time I got elbowed.
Yeah, I think people that like getting hit were hit as children.
I think they're lying. I don't think there's anybody on this fucking planet who affirmatively likes, in a violent street fight context or even a training context, getting hit. Everybody I know who's been like a serious MMA fighter, they're all like, no, getting hit sucks. I try to avoid that. That's the point.
Oh yeah, that's from a strategy perspective. But there's definitely a few people in my life that I've witnessed that were not mentally like okay. That were, like,
yeah, there you go.
Looking for some, like, there are people out there that you have to be aware of.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody out there, but there are a lot of fake tough guys that are like, I like getting hit. Yeah,
yeah. It was I got my karate black belt when I was like 12.
Same.
And I just like reminded my dad, like, anytime I saw him, I was like, bro, I'll beat your ass.
I'll chop you in half, Dad.
But now looking back on it, I don't know if that was blind confidence or not.
You're probably glad he didn't take you up on that.
I don't know. You don't know my dad. He's not you, Danny. My dad wasn't a black belt doing jiu-jitsu and practicing law.
Not many are.
We might never know. But yeah, I was my brother's like taking over my mom's house, like just cleaning out all the stuff, and he found like a sword rack and like had all my karate belts on it with like medals and stuff, and he brought it over to my house. And I like forgot he brought it over, and I was like in the basement, and I like saw it on one of the chairs. I'm like, I sent Evan a video message of like, I was like, you don't know, but you're on notice now, buddy. Like, you better watch where you.
I'm sure Evan was terrified.
Dude, he loved it. He loved it because we're always talking about karate. Like when I was like 20 years old, my first mixed martial arts class at Grindhouse. Like, I think I was probably about 20. There was I forget who the dude was named, but it doesn't matter because he was not. He was just like he was probably an alcoholic that was like teaching striking classes.
Sick.
So like he was like, "Oh, do you have any striking experience?" And I was like, "Yeah, karate." He's like, "Don't ever fucking say that again." And I was like, I like legitimately like thought I was like, I didn't like, I knew the karate. I'd been in enough fights to know that, and like boxed enough to know that like karate wasn't anything really. But I was like, yeah, I've done like some martial arts. I've done karate, and like that's like when he said martial arts, I was like, that's what I thought martial arts were. He's like, no.
That is martial arts. Like,
that
its
was
efficiency is up for debate. It's funny. My older kid roasts her friends that do karate. Like she'll always be like, "Why don't you actually learn something?" And they're like, "What? I'm just doing stuff." And I'm like, "Eve, don't be a dick."
Yeah, throw up a rising block. Just leave your whole face open.
Dude, me and
Downward block. It's like
Maida's a karate black belt too, and like me and him talk about because I have all these, I have my dad's old nunchucks and shit. And, like it's this fucking thing. Anytime you walk by a pair of nunchucks, you have to like pick them up and do figure eights and shit. And I keep wanting to bring them into Saga and just be like, Maida, let's go. Like, just watch him fucking go off because I'm sure he's really good at them. I'm still not bad with them, embarrassingly enough. But
Yeah, the last time I held nunchucks, I got hit with a nunchuck.
Oh, yeah. I hit myself in the balls so fucking hard with a pair of wooden nunchucks maybe like a year and a half ago, and I was like, yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, I got my kneecap.
Nice. That's a great place to get
Yeah.
a hard piece of wood.
And it was like, I was sitting down, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And I was like, oh, we're good.
There's that one video of one of the Diaz brothers like smoking a joint and doing nunchucks, and I'm like, that's the fucking best. That rocks.
Yeah, my favorite video from the Diaz brothers is when they're just they're talking to Nate Diaz, and they're like, "Oh, were you bullied as a kid?" And he was just like, "No," and they're like, "Why?" He's like, "I had a big brother," and then it shows his both of them as teenagers. Like, I'm like, "Oh God, they were a real problem."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like, "Ew." You hope they were on your side.
That reminds me of all my friends growing up. Like those two in particular. I'm just like,
Yeah, the group, our gym group chat is the adolescents kind of runs it right now. It's the Lost Boys and like Evan's Peter Pan.
That's so funny.
And one of them sent something the other day that was like, "Oh, the people are trying anything," and it was people on monkey bars fighting. And I'm like, bro, this is why they got rid of monkey bars at my school.
Yeah.
Like coming down and like you start on two sides of the square one and you swing down and then like try and climb to each other, kicking each other off the monkey bars. Like,
I love it.
Sport.
That's why they made all the playgrounds plastic in America.
Kids these days don't know.
They don't know what we were raised on. Metal slides, dude. Have you ever put wax paper on a slide?
No,
Have you ever done that?
No.
Going up to like a metal slide down at the beach and like just hit it with the wax paper and just go down first before you send your kids down. Yeah, my dad took us through that when we were like kids, and then my brother would keep like wax paper on them, like we would just wax some other school slides. And
That's so
like,
funny.
coming in on a Monday and
What a jerk.
yeah, you come in on we'd ride the bikes to school on the weekend, and, like tune up the slide for Monday. Coming to recess days, we like slides closed.
Someone flew out of it.
Yeah, let's see how fast we can go down this.
Yeah, it's like
Back when the starter hoodie starter like
The
basketball-
pullover jackets.
yeah, everybody had like the Charlotte Hornets one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that
why
was a
did
good
everyone
one.
have the Hornets?
I don't know,
'Cause
dude.
it's
I
sick.
had
It
a
was the
Charlotte
best
Hornets
one.
yeah, but like
My parents would just come home. Like, I've never liked sports. I've never seen a single game of any sport in its entirety.
Yeah.
And my parents would always come home with like some random teams, like
yeah, you
jacket,
probably
and I'd
you
be like,
probably
"All
had a
right,
Mighty
sick."
Ducks jacket for sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I know I had the Hornets for sure. I can't remember the other ones. I just was never a sports guy, though.
If you could be a sports guy, like and play a sport like football, baseball, hockey, like what sport would you play? If you could reincarnate as Hockey Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, playing sports is different. Like, I just don't I just don't watch anything. Like, I think I probably watched this calendar year exactly 0 hours of television, like, or movie or anything. Like, I don't watch things. I just
Oh no, like not even like a movie.
nope, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. Everybody always has that reaction. Like, wait, really? Like, I don't play video games. I don't watch anything. Like, it's just.
But you read.
Yes, I
Yeah.
try
Okay.
to read at least. I think I'm like 18 books in this year.
Nice.
You know, that's my thing: reading, records, and being a.
I'm trying to think. I would have to look at my Goodreads to see how many I'm at. I don't think I'm at 18.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them were graphic novels, but you know they were long, so whatever. They had
Yeah,
words in them; they count.
What are you reading right now?
I think I just finished the book I was reading. So I did. So I have to start something. I was reading like a philosophical, like occult type book because I'm a fucking weirdo that likes.
What's that like?
I mean, it's basically like dark spirituality almost is the way to describe it. It's really fucking nerdy, man. But yeah, it was just basically like an exploration of ancient belief systems and the philosophies that stem from them and things like that, and like modern interpretations of it. It really like esoteric shit. It was like really, really dense and difficult to read, but
that's not back-to-back podcasts. That's 2 podcast separation. Esoteric.
Esoteric.
Yeah. It's different words.
Different.
Yeah.
But would you do you subscribe to the concept that there's been like a smarter or like a more established civilization before our civilization? If you're getting into like philosophical ideas from the past like that?
I'm not sure. If you're talking about like Atlantis or like something.
I don't know about that, but the thought that we're the concept that we're currently at the peak of where we've ever been. Like, do you subscribe to that?
I'm not sure. I think it is entirely possible that there was like somebody pressed the reset button and like brought us back to the Stone Age. I think that's entirely. This was more about like left hand path type philosophies versus right hand path, and the distinction there is essentially like right hand path is like your Christianity, your Judaism, your Islam, and like left hand path is more like atheistic is like the wrong word because it does believe in like not necessarily like higher powers or higher beings, but more like glorification of self and controlling your own destiny and being your own god as opposed to finding another god. I just find that stuff interesting. I'll be honest with you, a lot of this shit like comes up in the music I listen to because all those black metal losers and all their Satan worshiping or whatever. A lot of it is actually just like this kind of stuff, and like when I was younger, I was really into all that shit, and it just kind of stemmed from there. And I kind of like you get a little older, you kind of circle back to things. So that's kind of what that's been like. I'm mostly a fiction reader, but this year I was like, I'm gonna read some nonfiction. Well, what do I want to read about? Well, I read about some of this shit when I was younger. Even dumb. Like I read an Aleister Crowley book this year, and like that dude's fucking batshit. And like, I'm reading stuff on Thelema, and I'm like, none of this is real. You're out of your fucking mind. Like you ate hallucinogens or something, bro. But like, it was an interesting read.
How do you read stuff like that and then not like, for instance, I'll give you an example. The Fauci book by RFK.
Okay.
I bought that book when it came out in 2021, right? I read maybe 30 pages of it, and I have not continued the book since then, right? And it was because just whatever when I was reading, I was like, if this is true, like this is beyond messed up.
Yeah.
Right. That it was like actually like kind of making me like, if I was reading at the beginning of the day, I was like hours later, I'm still like pissed off about it. Like, how do you dabble into stuff like that and not take with you the like that little bit that like goes with you for a few hours?
So let's get weird for a second. So one of the books I read this year is about a small religious, I guess pseudo-religious sect called the Temple of Black Light. And my familiarity with this was because a musician who was the main guy from a band I loved growing up committed a murder, went to jail for it, and the murder was part of like a religious ritual almost for this, religion, and came out of jail, was like, I'm reborn, I still follow this religion or whatever, and, completed another album that he said was like essentially like the manifesto of this religion.
So he went to jail for second degree, like how do you get...
I don't know. He was it was Sweden, so
okay.
they only go to jail for like 15 minutes or whatever. I think he was in jail for like 16 years or something like that. Yeah. But he comes out, makes this album that's supposed to be like the manifesto of this religion, and then fucking kills himself. So I was like, well, this sounds like crazy shit. Let's dive in. And basically the premise of this religion is this whole world's fake. It is an illusion created by the demiurge, which is hard to explain other than like, I don't know, it's a fake fucking god basically. And the only way to free yourself from this fake existence is to return yourself to chaos. And to return yourself to chaos, the final act to do that is to blow your brains out like he did. And so I read this book that basically like outlines the beliefs, and it was definitely like kind of that thing, like if any of this is fucking real, this universe is fucked beyond belief. And if the only answer to it is suicide, then you know what? I'm fine with it. Experiencing the fake universe where I don't blow my brains out. But there was definitely like, I would read it and I would be like walking around like, man, that was fucked up. And like, and the thing is like, I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, this is all bullshit. Like, come on, man. Like a fucking 11-headed black dragon is the true like master of the universe. Like, suck my ass. Like, that's not fucking real. But like, then there's that part of me that's like, if this is real, that's horrid, and I don't want to consider it as a possibility. And this guy thought it was real enough to commit a murder and then kill himself over it. So yeah, sometimes this shit does like stay with you a little, and like, I don't know. I find it interesting.
The trip is where it's like you're not going on vacation, you're going on an adventure.
Yeah. Like, it was definitely a tough read, and like, you know, the Temple of the Black Light like still exists. There are members, and like they're super secretive and things like that.
You think we can get them on the pod?
Absolutely not. I don't think there is any way to get that. Funny enough, this is gonna make me sound like the world's biggest fucking nerd. When I was younger,
we're gonna just end every podcast with, and if anybody knows somebody of the Black Light, just put us in touch.
Frater Azriel or some shit is like the main dude. But when I was younger, we actually used to like
LinkedIn.
Write emails back and forth and send letters to some guys that were like, I was like 19 and I had a friend who was like way into that kind of shit, and he like knew people, so he would like write letters, and like one time he actually got sent a book by them. And like, I didn't read it at the time, and because he was just like, no, only I can read this. I was like, all right, man, you're big, scary, and on a lot of drugs, whatever you say. So,
and does this guy does he know what the inside of his skull looks like?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
He's still kicking around.
Right.
Yeah, I think he might have been a little fucked up at the time and came back to earth. But yeah, like, you know, it's kind of spooky. Like, if any of this shit's real, like that's wild.
One of my favorite things to do is to talk to people on the other side of things like that. Obviously, we don't do podcasts about stuff like that, but like, if you have gone through like a cult or something like that, and I find out about it, or like some sort of experience like that, I'm like, bro,
yeah,
what's life like now? And and then they're always like, oh, damn it.
I've had like the opposite experience. One of my good friends got involved essentially in a cult. Like, growing up, like we skateboarded and listened to the Deftones together, and used to smoke pot and be bad kids, and then like, out of nowhere, he couldn't be friends with any of us. Like, his parents moved to this like cult town basically, and like he got super into it, and then like got real fucking weird, and like basically told us all that we were like savage Philistines, and then that was that.
Rambo just like,
he's like,
did you hear me?
Sounds bad.
Yeah, dude. That was funny. I got sprayed with whatever. He just like,
delicious.
I thought someone opened the door.
Yeah, that's what it sounded. It sounded like a door open. Yeah, it was Rambo.
It was the spooky spirits summoned by the.
Yeah,
we do have a spooky spirit problem inside this room.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bucks County, apparently the most haunted county in the country.
I don't know. Well, but we lit somebody into the room that I think messes around with evil spirits a little too much.
Yeah,
and too many vampire things. Probably.
Oh, the Vampa Museum guy.
Yeah, probably might know some.
He probably knows some of the shit that I'm like reading.
Yeah. We wanted to, but you could tell like he really didn't. Like he's got some things there that like I've had people that are in like the spiritual community. I don't know if you subscribe to that.
I'm not sure. I'm a complete agnostic, and that's why I'm reading this stuff, because I find it interesting, and I'm not sure whether I fully believe.
So, didn't believe. And then I've had like a couple different interactions with a few different people, and like the grandfather situation that's come up a few times, like different things that have come up that there's just like no way. Like, so with like AI, right? Everybody's plugging their information into AI. So if somebody was tapped into the AI, you would know everybody's collective thought process.
Right.
So what if like the universe and all the energy in the spiritual building, it's like, what if that is like not AI, but like an sentient being that knows all of our stuff, and like people can connect into that? Like, then you would be able to know that.
I mean, isn't that essentially what people believe praying is? Like, tapping into the oversoul or whatever?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's cool to talk about that stuff. It's another thing to kind of like see it or feel it when you're a skeptic. Yeah. And you're dabbling. Like, you're thinking, you're flying close to the sun, but you really don't think there's possibility of getting burnt, and then you get burnt, and you're like, whoa,
hot. I'll say this. Like, I was complete, like, ghosts are fake. And then I went to New Orleans with my wife. Both of us were very much like, ghosts are fake. We walked away like, nah, man, that shit's real. And we actually have
Did you do a ghost tour?
We did a ghost tour, and none of that was spooky. What happened to us when we were left to our own fucking devices, though, we have a picture, and like I've showed this to a ton of people, of us sitting in a bar. My wife's holding her phone, takes a picture in the mirror. Like, you can account for everything in the room. There's a fucking black blob on the carpet just chilling there. And it was something that if it was in the mirror and we saw it, we would have reacted to it. And it's not like it was a new iPhone at the time.
It's not like there's a smudge on it.
No, man. And it's like bending the picture. Like it looks like the carpet is like folding around it. And the more you zoom in, the less you're able to tell what it is. And like that was a moment of just like, what the fuck, man? That's not okay. And like maybe something went wrong with the camera. Like I'm still agnostic enough to say like, well, maybe it's nothing. Maybe, you know, everybody who I've shown it to, we're all just seeing things, which would be interesting and a coincidence. But, you know. The
thought experiment I did accidentally to myself was I was like at the beach and we were sitting there and just kind of like I was looking at the waves. I was like, holy shit, like I was like, the moon controls all this? Yep. I was like, okay, so if the moon controls all this, like what other things in the world or in this solar system, like what is Jupiter doing to us? Or like what is like the sun doing to us that like we don't understand? Like there's so much like that we don't know.
Oh yeah.
That like the possibilities of what isn't possible to me is just like, dude, anything's possible now.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've moved from.
And I used to be like that. None of that's just real.
Yeah. I've moved kind of from that to like being more open-minded about possibility. Like, you know, I wouldn't say I firmly believe in much of anything, but I entertain that almost anything's a possibility.
Yeah,
and I find that so much more interesting too. Like that's so much less cynical and boring to just be like, I'll take things as they come and like, you know, entertain possibilities.
Yeah. I know you don't watch like TV or shows or anything, but there's a show, I think it's Japanese. And it was like a short series called The Three-Bodied Problem. It's pretty, you should look. I mean, the three-body problem is like a physics thing. It's
okay.
So it's like
I'll read about it.
Yeah, well, you could definitely, but like this, it's like a very weird concept, but this movie or this like short little series did like such a great job like encapsulating like what is what it is, and it's
right.
like something like communicating through like it's kind of crazy, like just like the what we could talk to, or what like the thought that like me and you might not know each other, but we're thinking about the same thing, so like we kind of like come together on something just because like we're made up of the same stuff.
Right.
So if like my stuff is wanting something and your stuff is all wanting the same thing, it's all just gonna like perform the same way.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'll look into it. I'll read about it.
Yeah. So it's like you put all the ingredients together to make a cake. Like you can put the cake together a little differently, but it's still the same ingredients. I'm like, holy shit! Like this is not healthy to be watching. But let's go.
Yeah.
Or am I real?
Yeah. Am I real?
Should I go to work today?
Send yourself down a rabbit hole.
What is QuickBooks?
Does this matter? Oh yeah, what is QuickBooks?
What are leads?
That's funny.
Yeah. So, man, we had another serious installment of Danny Katz on the podcast.
Yeah, that got deep.
Yeah,
It
got weird, but
No.
that's typical of me.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about Nazi fashion this time, so
Facts.
hopefully
I mean,
we
nothing's really changed since last
we-
week.
yeah.
Hugo Boss, great stuff.
Yeah, so we didn't let anybody down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Where can people find you, or like where do you want people to get in touch with you? Like, do you want people to get in touch with you? Do you do you even want to talk to people?
Socially or
Yeah, what do
to
you
make
looking
money?
For? I mean,
Both.
I think you do fine monetarily.
I mean, I could always use more. I like
Yes,
nice things.
You so like if people need legal advice and such things, you do a lot for like me personally and for business and stuff on like in the capacity that your firm does. Obviously, if you're committing crimes on any sort of like if you're murdering people, you're probably not the guy.
No, I will do criminal work, but I really kind of restrict it to like things that I can say, well, I did that when I was younger too, or like I can understand why you did that, or like whatever, man, everybody makes mistakes. Like, a story I often tell is that when I was like really early into my practice and like I was not making fucking anything, like I would have made more money working in like fast food. I got an email at like midnight, and like long story short, the person basically told me they would give me $50,000 to represent them immediately, and like they were like, I'll give you my credit card, whatever you need, because they were accused of a sex crime, and I was just like, nope, fuck that, absolutely not. So like that kind of stuff I'll never touch. You know, like your DUIs, your marijuana possessions, your whatever, like that, sure, I'll do. Like so murder, honestly, I mean, I would, depending on like what they were accused of, like maybe I would. Like if we're talking somebody that like was defending themselves and they killed somebody, like I could understand them as a person enough to be like, all right, man, I'll take the case. But
That's good to know.
Yeah.
For those out there listening.
Yeah. But as a rule, no. Like really, what I do is not that. You know, I do a lot of family stuff, which sometimes is fucking awful. Like divorces, custody. Like you see some really ugly shit. Business law. My favorite stuff is obviously like music and entertainment related law. Like I actually have a couple things in that vein right now that some of it I'm enjoying, others not so much, but that's just the way it goes. And if people want to get in touch with me, find my website, email me. Please, for the love of fuck, don't message me on Instagram or Facebook about it. Like, as far as socially, if I know you, I'm always happy to hear from you. But as I've said probably 10 times in the last 6 months, I have all the friends I want. I'm not... I wouldn't say I'm opposed to making friends necessarily. I'm just not out there actively like looking to. I'm always looking to like connect and network for what I can do for the communities I've chosen to be in. But I'm not out there trying to find new people to like grab drinks with or anything like that necessarily. I mean, I don't even drink.
It was kind of weird to hear him say grab drinks.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's just not for me.
You want to grab drinks?
Yeah, no, no thanks. I'm full.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and as far as HeelHookvlt, just everything's through the Instagram. It's the easiest way to do it. That Bandcamp link that you have up there, like that's probably going to expand. You can sell merch through the Bandcamp platform. People have been bugging me for a while, like, why don't you have a storefront? And honestly, it's because I don't feel like getting another EIN that you need for most of the places to like sell from like a big cartel or something. And you don't have to do that for Bandcamp. So I might start selling, but honestly, every drop sells out. So like
Big Cartel is a good one, but you do need
there's tax implications involved in like I don't think I would even have to like pay anything, and like I don't care about that. It's just like, why complicate what's already working?
That's why the podcast isn't on Apple.
Okay.
Because they needed us to have
There you go.
Tax ID for the podcast.
Yeah, fuck that.
And I was literally like, all right, well, I guess you guys just aren't getting it.
Yeah.
And another thing that I realized Apple is doing currently, they're charging me $34.99 for my YouTube Premium membership, when if you go through YouTube, it's $23.99.
Nice.
So I literally have, and that's how like that $10, like I don't care, but like it's principle.
Yeah,
it's
Like it's the same product. Like you shouldn't be charging me $10.
right. No, to
you're
middleman something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you're done, dude.
Yeah.
You're done. So if you don't realize that though, if you're buying something and it goes through the Apple payment platform, it's like tacked 30%
Yeah.
Oh shit.
on anything.
Yeah.
That's
Like
nuts.
not just the apps. Like so
Yep.
there's been a couple bills that we got like for different things we use at work. I'm like, what the and it's like through because that's like when we originally purchased like whatever service it was through the phone, and then they just, jacked it up one day.
Yeah, I just see no need to expand like my interfacing with the public or like my selling methods. Like people hit me up in DMs, and like sometimes people are sad, like, oh man, I didn't see your Instagram post and now you're sold out. And it's like, well, pay more attention.
That's metal, baby.
Yeah, I mean, going back to like my idea when I started this, like there's an exclusivity and like a difficultness to the kind of music that like I care about. You don't just turn on the radio and hear it. You don't just, know bands or where to get the stuff automatically. And I like that. And, I deal with the shitty side of that too as a vinyl collector. Like sometimes things sell out before I get my hands on them, but like that's the game. And like, that's something I'm trying to cultivate. And, I know that seems kind of like elitist and gatekeepy, but good. I mean, like,
Hey, it's yours.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Like, I'm doing it this way because I want to do it this way.
If
people don't like it,
go make your own shirt.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like, you don't want to participate. You think I'm a dickhead for this? Great. I don't care. This is my baby, my idea. Like, I run it the way I want to run it. And, oftentimes I'll get people hitting me up like, oh, I have an idea. And I'm like, that's great. so when does your shirt company start? You know, like I really, and it's funny. The only people who like I'll put up polls occasionally, like, would you guys want me to do long sleeve rash guards? But normally when I post that, I already have my answer in mind.
You got to test it a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to see if like my instinct is like totally fucking wrong, which it hasn't been yet, thankfully. But like, you know, if I were to post something like that and I already had my mind made up and I had like a million fucking people telling me that like that was not a good idea, I'd be like, well, you guys are the ones buying it, so guess I have to care. But I will occasionally ask my wife things. She jokes, she's like, you never really ask me anything, and I'm like, that's just how I am. Like, I just get this vision and I just go forth. And like, you know, another example of that is like, I've used one artist, my friend Dylan, for like most of the drops. And there's all these other artists out there who I love. And like, I do want to work with at some point, but my vision is almost linear. And I think that goes back to like my idea of success. My idea of success is driving my way, like not having a boss. That's a big thing for me with success. Like, nobody tells me what to do. I don't believe in any form of like anybody telling me what to do. And like, if you want to see me get mad real quick, watch somebody tell me what to do. Like, I know that's like petulant.
We can't introduce him to my brother ever.
Petulant, childish bullshit on my part, but it's just like the way I am. Like, nobody tells me what to do. There is no one above me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll have to like make an introduction because there's like not very many people that are like just, but also like that type of personality. And like when you talk sometimes, I'm like, oh, geez. My brother will listen to this and do the show notes, and I'll be like, "This Danny guy, how much does he like guns? Is he all right?"
Just the legal amount that will allow me to buy more and get approved for NFA items. I do not like guns any more than that. ATF, DEA, FBI, anyone listening?
ATF's not real. We don't answer the door. This was a really great time. Selfishly, I hope everybody else enjoyed this episode. I know a lot of people listening to this podcast. You have a really strong following from the people I know, so I think a lot of people enjoy this.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there's people like you. You're a likable guy. I know you're your own guy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not
take it or leave it, Danny, but Saint Danny over here.
I'm not actively out there trying to make people hate me or make enemies. I like peace. I like harmony. You know, but
you set a good example for people to follow, and like I think you should be proud of that. Humbly proud about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't have to admit it, but we're admitting it for you.
Well, I appreciate that. I just try to be nice. I try to, you know, net positive in any way I can be. You know, I don't want to make the world worse.
Yeah, be a net positive. Someone recently told me that like that was their vision of like being a good parent, was that their kids were a net positive.
I completely agree 100%.
I'm like, damn, that's like the simplest way. Like, if your
was
kids,
it me? Did I say that?
It could have been.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that sounds like something I've said.
I might have texted him like, what do I do?
Yeah, no, that's
like, keep him alive. He's still too young.
Yeah, that's it.
How do I start his training?
Don't make your kids into the people or the kids that other people are like, what the fuck, man? Get that thing out of here. Because that happens to me still. I am terrible with other people's kids a lot of the time. I get very annoyed. Not that bad.
Punch him a little bit.
Gilmar, do you have anything else before we thank everybody and we get out of here?
No, I think we covered it all. You know, I really appreciate you coming on and, you know, sharing your insight and the things you're interested in, because it definitely does, you know, open, even if it's for a second, it does open your mind, the other possibilities of like civilizations and things that people believe in, and also what you believe in. And it's just cool to see how much of an individual you are. I think
thank you.
It's nice to hear that perspective from others. So
yeah, thank you.
That was well put.
I can't really be anyone but myself, for better or for worse. So
yeah, man,
you know,
that's awesome.
It's all on the table at all times.
Yeah,
but that was really well. That was really well said, because like everybody is trying to be something, and Danny's just Danny.
He's just Danny, man. I love that.
You can trust people like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes it doesn't serve me well, but yeah, that's definitely true.
But we can still trust it.
Yeah, we trust it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no bullshit. Just, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Danny Katz, appreciate you. This is the Bucks Townies Podcast. Danny, Gilmar, Andrew, Rambo on the floor, of course. Hit the like and subscribe button. That's important to us, even though we act like it's not. I guess eventually someday it will be important, and we're going to wish that we asked you for it today. So what better time than now? Hit the button.
Yeah.
I've done that, right? I've liked everything appropriately.
Probably.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Probably. We should
so.
I always try to do that. I always try to support.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.